Congratulations on the purchase of your 100 series or S200 series lawn tractor. Today's video is going to cover some of the maintenance and operation of the machine. First thing, let's start under the hood. The engine on the machine is located right here. With being the S100 series, you might have a single cylinder engine or you could have a V-twin like this one. The engine is got an air filter, and on this you take the two screws loose, lift the cover off, and you have the air filter sitting right here. No tools or real extreme effort is needed to remove the air filter. You do have a pre-wrap to catch most of the dust, and then you have the actual pleated paper filter. You should make sure that it's clean so that the engine can breathe properly. You can take this foam wrap off. You can actually wash that with some soap and water and get that cleaned up. It does come off a little bit difficult just because it fits tight. With the air filter element, you can tap it out with your hand, you can tap it on the tire, but I would not use compressed air to blow it out. If you have too much pressure, you could easily tear the filter and cause more problems than you are doing any good. If you tear the filter element, that's a direct path for dirt to get into the engine and cause premature wear. With the wrap back on the filter, we can just set that in place, push down on the edge, and there we have it. Cover sits back on, turn the thumb screws down, and you're set. Engine oil dipstick is located right here. Pull the dipstick out, wipe it clean, put it back in, turn it down, pull it back out, and you should have your oil level being the upper end up here where you have a dot and the crosshatch. We have the battery located right here, and you want to make sure that your battery connections are nice and clean and tight. It's not uncommon to see some corrosion forming on the positive battery cable connection. That can easily be cleaned off with some baking soda and water. Once dried, you can put some grease, or there are other types of aerosol sprays available that can be put on to eliminate the corrosion buildup. Now, this machine is equipped with John Deere's Easy Change Oil Filter System. There is no drain tube, and when you take this big filter right here off, this has got oil in it. It's the filter itself. They say it's the 30-second oil change, and they're not lying. Push down, give it a turn, it comes off. The new filter, you take the plug off the bottom, set it down, give it a turn. There should be enough oil in there that if your oil level was at the full mark, everything will be fine. If after changing the filter you're still not at the full mark, you can get some engine oil and top it off. For these, we do recommend 10W30, and John Deere makes a wonderful product. Turf Guard 10W30, part number TY22029. Available at all of our Riesterer Schnell locations. You have a spark plug, or two spark plugs on this, in this case, right here. And on this side, you have a fuel filter that's going to keep the gunk that might get in the tank from getting up into the carburetor and causing plugging. Every day before you mow with your machine, you want to make sure that this area is cleaned off. You can take your hand, you can take a rag. Just make sure that you get all the chaff out of here so that you get a good airflow through the engine. Now, if you're going to have your machine sitting over the winter months, when you go to fire it up in the springtime, double check to make sure that you do not have any mice that have built a nest in here. Mice, for some reason, love to build nests right on top of the cylinder in there, and they can also get in there and start chewing on wires. So kind of a telltale sign is you might see some grass or debris sticking out between the cover and the shroud. If that is the case, you feel comfortable taking care of that yourself, by all means do so before you start using it. If you're not comfortable with it, get a hold of one of our service departments and we can take care of that for you. That might also be an opportune time to do a service on your machine. We do have multiple service packages available for you to choose from. Okay, we're going to shut the hood down now, and we're going to talk about the tires. The tires on these machines run at a very low pressure. We run 14 pounds in the front, 10 pounds in the rear. And I have here a low pressure tire gauge. It's graduated out 1 to 20 psi. Your typical stick gauge for an automobile is not going to go low enough. These are specifically designed for this type of equipment, and you might even have digital gauges out there that would go low enough for the tires. And it is also, like we'd mentioned, if your machine slept all winter and you're bringing it alive in the spring, it is very normal that your tires will be a little on the soft side. The low pressure in the tire does not push the tire to the rim as hard as it would on your automobile or your pickup truck. So don't get alarmed if you have a low pressure situation. It does happen. It's common. Let's talk about what we have as far as operating controls up here on our dashboard. This is a pretty simple dashboard. We have a single lever here for our throttle and our choke. The choke position is shown with the blue choke symbol here, and it actually pushed the lever just a little bit further than high speed. You're in choke mode. You've got the hour meter and the fuel level gauge right here. You've got a 4-position key switch. Stop, run with the headlights on, run with the headlights off, and cranking position. You have the PTO engagement for the machine right here, the yellow button. Mower deck is off when it's down. Pull it up, you'll hear a snap. That will be engaging your mower deck, turning the mower deck on. Here is a cruise control lever. You have forward and reverse pedals here on the side. If you push your forward pedal down, you can raise this up, and it's going to hold that at about the same speed you were traveling at. And what you can do to turn it off, just give the pedal a quick pop. On the other side, we've got a yellow button here, which is your Rio button. If you're going to utilize the reverse mowing operation with your machine, in other words, if you want to back up and have the mower deck still engaged, or a snowblower for that matter, what you have to do is push the yellow button down, hold it down, then you can push on the reverse pedal. Once you've started to travel backwards, let go of the button, and the mower deck or the snowblower, whatever the implement, would be running the whole time that you're backing up. Good for that one time only. You get to the other end of the yard, you want to do that same thing again. You do have to go through the process, push the button down, hit the pedal, then you're ready to go. On the left side, we've got a single pedal, and that's our brake pedal. And we have an orange lever right here, orange paddle. That is your parking brake latch. So if you push that pedal down and you raise that up, Now your machine is parked, it'll stay in one place. Now, if you want to get off your machine and leave the engine run, but have the attachment turned off, the mower deck, the snowblower, you can do so by making sure your PTO switch is off and applying your parking brake. That comes in very handy should you have a bagger on the back and you want to dump the bags from the clippings or the leaves. To offset the parking brake, just push the pedal down a little further, push the latch down, you're ready to go. On the left side, we have the lift handle for the mower deck. You've got several notches here, and we've got them labeled 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 3.5. Now these are not necessarily inches. They are simply a reference point that you can say, if your son's going to go out and mow, yeah, son, let's mow at 2.5 today, or let's mow at 3. It just gives you an area to come back to. The seat, we've got a nice seat here with an adjustable lumbar support. Turn the knob a quarter of a turn and you have pushed out the lumbar support on the seat. The seat does tip up. We've got our fuel tank underneath the seat. The cap is tethered so you do not lose it. The one thing I want to really instill in you is the need to keep this area clean and clear of grass, bugs, leaves, debris, so that when you open up that fuel cap, you can keep that stuff out of your fuel tank. Last year in the shop, we did about 35 or 40 machines where we had to pull the fender decks off, clean out the fuel tanks because there was debris in there that actually plugged up the fuel line and the machine did not want to run. On the fender, we do have a little toolbox, storage area, glove box. We've also got a cup holder here so you can keep a bottle of water with you. On the back of the machine, we do have a little silver lever, and that is your hydrostatic release lever, freewheeling lever. Pull that out. With the parking brake off, you can easily move the machine. Now, an instance where you might want to use that is, say you have something you have to access in the garage. Want to move the machine ahead a couple feet, don't have your key on you, or just don't feel there's a need to do that. Just pull it out, give it a push the lever back in with your hand, you're ready to be in drive position again. On the seat right here, you will see an adjuster. There are several notches down here, so you can adjust the seat to get you closer or farther away to the steering wheel. Simply reach down, pull that up, and scoot the seat forward or backwards. On the fender deck here in the middle, there is a large decal that does explain a lot of what the controls are up here on the dash. Should you have any questions, you can check there. And of course, this video is not a means of eliminating the use of the operator's manual. It's just a quick help you get used to your machine video. On the mower deck, the only other thing that is kind of neat is they do have a washout port. And this has a quick coupler that you would screw onto your garden hose, pull it back, click it on to the fitting on the deck, turn the water on, get on the tractor, start it up, and engage the mower deck. The water coming in, the blade spinning, will get a lot of what is on the deck actually washed off. On personal note, it's something that if you use it, you want to use it all the time. Don't use it in the spring, not use it all summer, and then figure before you put the tractor away in the fall, you're going to wash the deck out. It probably will be plugged up. So if you're going to use it all the time. We do have a front bumper on the tractor. That's kind of nice, prevents any damage to the hood. And let's see what. As far as grease zerks on here, this machine does need to be greased occasionally, and the service interval for the changing the oil, the greasing, can be found in your operator's manual. On this particular machine, you have a grease zerk on the front wheel, the spindle, the arc of the axle, the same thing on this side. So on the front axle and front wheels alone, you've got 5 grease zerks. And on the mower deck, this is a 48-inch deck, each spindle has a grease zerk. So you have 8 grease zerks on this machine. And John Deere does produce multiple levels of grease that they've approved for use on the machine. My favorite and the most recommended is the heavy-duty lithium complex grease. Part number is TY24416, and that is also available at any of our Riesterer Schnell locations here in the state. Hopefully, this gives you a little bit of a rundown on the operation of your new 100 series or S200 series lawn tractor. The one thing between the two is some have the electric PTO, some have a mechanical PTO. If you've got an S100 up to an S130, you're going to have the mechanical PTO, and you'll have a little lever that comes up here that's L-shaped with a yellow tip. That will replace this switch, and turning that lever so that it points straight at the 12 o'clock position is the engagement of your PTO. If you've got the S140 to the S180, you do have the electric clutch. On the bigger models, you also have different tire sizes. Tire pressures do change a little bit there. We run 12 PSI on all 4 tires on the larger diameter tires. Hopefully you enjoy your new S100 or S200 series machine. If you do have any questions, please reference your operator's manual or feel free to contact your local Riesterer Schnell dealer.